The Galactic Council was the most powerful group in the universe. It was made of over 200 alien races, some new, all proud. Their council hall floated in space, a giant ring shining like a star. Inside it, great leaders argued, made laws, and decided who was strong and who was weak. But that day, something strange happened. A message came from a planet many still thought was unimportant. Earth. The message was short and clear. The people of Earth request a place at the Galactic Council. We come in peace. We're ready to join the stars. At first, no one reacted. Then, soft laughter started from one side of the hall. Soon, the room was full of mocking voices. Tall, insect-like creatures clicked their jaws in amusement. Slimy beings from the wet world of Threx bubbled with laughter. Even the cold, serious reptilian generals of Volgarn smirked. Earth. These hairless apes thought they could stand among ancient powers. It was a jocund insult to the council itself. An old ambassador from the Zarn coalition waved a hand too. Quiet the room. We thank Earth for its message, he said, trying not to laugh. But perhaps they should wait another 1,000 years. More laughter followed. A young alien with glowing blue skin asked, "Do they even have faster-than-light travel?" Yet, no one knew, and no one cared. But the message wasn't over. Right before the signal ended, a second voice came. Calm, deep, and without emotion. "We understand your laughter," the voice said. "You may find us small, weak, late to the stars, but remember, we are not asking for your approval. We are giving you a chance. We will come. And when we do, you will listen." The laughter stopped. For a few seconds, the council sat in silence. The signal cut off. There was no more data, no name, no image, no ship. Just that voice and that warning. The silence was quickly broken by more mockery. "They think they're threatening us?" said the ambassador from the Kruvak Empire. "Let them come. We'll watch their tiny ships fall apart." Another alien added, "Maybe they'll ride rockets again, like in their early days." The mood became lighter again. The fear passed, like a breeze. But not everyone laughed. In the dark corner of the room, the Drexuri ambassador said nothing. The Drexuri were a quiet, ancient race. They rarely spoke, but when they did, others listened. This time, the ambassador only stared at the screen where Earth's message had played. His skin changed color slightly, a sign of deep thought in his species. One of the assistants, a young alien from the Lerni, leaned over and whispered, "Why? Don't you laugh, Ambassador?" It was clearly a joke. The Drexuri turned slowly. "God, I have heard such silence before," he said. "Long ago, right before a war, none of us could win." In the days that followed, news of Earth's invitation spread across galaxies. It was played on entertainment shows, used in memes across alien networks, and mocked in cartoons. On the planet, Geller, a comedy group, made a full show called Monkeys in Space, where actors dressed like humans tried to eat space food with their hands. Viewers loved it. The whole galaxy laughed together. Back on Earth, the humans watched. They saw the reactions. They studied the jokes. They listened to every word spoken about them. And then, Earth went quiet. No more messages. No follow-up. Just silence. Some believed Earth had given up. Others thought they were embarrassed. But one group, the Terran Command, was not silent. Inside, deep under Earth's surface, in a base known only to a few leaders and strategists met day and night, they played the Council's reactions over and over. They marked who laughed, who stayed silent, who looked afraid. "We showed them the message," one general said. "Now we prepare for the visit," scientists asked. "Do we send a small team diplomats?" The room fell silent. Then the head of Terran Command, a woman named Admiral Reese, stood and looked at the hologram of the Council. "No," she said, "we send them proof of who we are, of what we've become. No more hiding, no more waiting." And just like that, Earth began its most secret and powerful operation. Ships that had never left the Sol system were pulled from hidden docks. Engines that broke the rules of physics warmed up. Crews trained in silence. Uniforms were stitched. without symbols, only the Earth's dark blue and black. Not for war, not for peace, but for respect. The galaxy still laughed. They had no idea what was coming. The Galactic Council had chosen a date. Earth's official visit would happen in 30 days. The time was announced across star systems. It became the biggest news across the galaxy. But not because people were excited. They were amused. Everyone expected Earth to arrive in a rusty ship, maybe wearing helmets or old spacesuits. Invitation from Earth had become a running joke. News channels called it the Day of the Monkeys. Even respected scientists made fun of Earth's courage. Inside the Council's grand hall, preparations were in full swing. But they were not serious. The stage was decorated with banners welcoming Earth in a silly way. Some banners even had cartoon drawings of humans with bananas. Alien comedians were invited to perform live on the day Earth arrived. Even the official announcer for the Council practiced jokes in case Earth's ship broke down mid-landing. Will they bring pets with them? One ambassador asked loudly during a meeting. Or do they still use animals to pull their carts? Laughter exploded in the room. For most, Earth was just an uninvited guest trying to act important. But in one quiet corner of the Council building, a small group of diplomats looked worried. These few aliens were not laughing. One of them, an old Soren data analyst, had been studying Earth's signal non-stop for days. He spoke to his team in a low voice. There is something strange about that final message. The voice was too calm, too sure. I think they know something we don't. Another alien, a thin four-eyed being from the Varan species, added, They warned us, and then they went silent. That kind of silence means planning. Their concerns were taken to the main council. But the High Chair, a large glowing alien from the Darenth Order, waved the concern away. Let them come, he said. If they surprise us, it will be with their weakness. Meanwhile, a quiet investigation had already begun. A special council security team, known as the Deep Lens, had started scanning Earth's military and scientific records. What they found was confusing. Most of Earth's data seemed normal. Their history showed wars, peace talks, fast growth, and struggles, but something didn't add up. Earth had made too much progress in the last 100 years. Too fast. Some of their technology matched council-level science, but it was not shared publicly. Earth had no ambassadors in major star systems, no trade deals, no cultural exports. It was as if they had avoided attention, on purpose. A Deep Lens agent gave his report to a security officer. They have ships, he said. Big ones. No records of their movements, no war logs, no public battles. It's like they never tested them, or they tested them somewhere we can't see. The officer shrugged. Perhaps they're bluffing. Just using old tactics, make noise, seem dangerous, then beg for peace. The analyst shook his head. No, I don't think they're bluffing. I think they're watching. Back on the council floor, the jokes continued. Stage artist from the Zarkari world created a dance show called Welcome Earthlings, where dancers wore fake human heads and acted like scared little apes. The show was scheduled for the same hour Earth would land. Even alien children played pretend games, where they acted like humans getting lost on space stations. One popular game was called Human Lost in Vacuum. The galaxy saw Earth as the new clown of the stars, but again, not everyone was laughing. The Drexer ambassador, silent as always, sat in his room watching Earth's signal. Over and over, he noticed something others missed behind the message. In the background audio, there was a hum, a very low-frequency hum. Most ears could not hear it, but the Drexery could. He froze. That hum, it was from an old war, sound once used by a lost empire, frequency designed to send pain through enemy minds without firing a weapon. It had not been used in over 2,000 years. He stood up quickly and sent a private message to the High Chair. Stop the shows, it said. Prepare security. Earth may not be coming as fools. They may be coming as something else. The message was ignored. On the day before Earth's arrival, the council held a final meeting. Members smiled and laughed, speaking of how small Earth would look among them. The final decision was made to not place any defense shields around the council building. "We don't want to scare them," they joked. But far above them, something was already moving. No alarms rang. No radar picked it up. But it was coming. And it was not alone. The sky above the Galactic Council's city station was clear. Stars glowed brightly over the polished towers and silver platforms. Ships from hundreds of species moved slowly in perfect paths. Security teams relaxed. Camera drones hovered, waiting. To capture Earth's arrival, reporters stood ready, smiling at their screens, waiting to laugh. But there was nothing. No sign of Earth's ship, no signal, no noise. The official time of arrival passed. 5 minutes late. 10 minutes. 20, some began to whisper. Maybe they were never coming. One alien reporter laughed into her mic. Did they get lost on the way? Another said, maybe their ship broke before launch. The crowd of council members, media, and guests started to turn away. A no-show, one muttered. Typical primitives. Then, everything changed. The sky turned dark. Not like night, but like something huge had blocked the stars. Every eye turned upward. There was no sound, no warning. Suddenly, a massive shadow moved slowly across the sky. It was a ship, but not like any they had seen before. It wasn't shiny. It didn't glow. It didn't have flags or symbols. It was silent, black, smooth. The size of a small moon. Gasps filled the air. Even the guards stepped back, unsure what they were looking at. Council scanners blinked and glitched. They could not read the ship. No ID, no energy signature, no weapons. Detected, but the silence made it feel more dangerous. The great ship stopped above the council city, not moving, just watching. Then smaller shadows appeared around it. 20 more ships, sleek and quiet, forming a perfect circle in the sky. No lights, no movement, just presence. From the council floor, the high chair stood up, his voice shaking. "What? What is this?" a voice answered. Not from a speaker, not through normal channels, but directly into everyone's head. "This is the delegation from Earth," it said. "We are here, as promised." The voice was calm, human, but it held something. Else something that made even the bravest among them feel a cold fear. One ship, smaller than the rest, began to descend. Slowly, carefully, silently, it landed outside the main council chamber. No weapons were visible, no guards came out. It's just one ramp, slowly opening with a low hiss. From the shadows, a single figure walked. Out it was a human. He wore no armor, no helmet. Just a dark blue uniform with no ranks, no medals. His face was calm, his eyes sharp. He held nothing in his hands. He walked alone. No one dared stop him. The guards stepped aside without being told. The council hall doors opened slowly. Inside, hundreds of alien leaders watched in silence. The air felt heavy, as if time had slowed. The human walked forward without fear. No sound came from his boots. He reached the center of the room, looked at the high chair, and placed a small black cube on the center table. Then he stepped back. The high chair looked at the cube. "What is this?" he asked. The cube clicked once. Then every translation device in the room shut down. Lights flickered. Systems rebooted. Confused whispers began to rise, and then the voice returned, not from the cube, not from the speakers, but inside every mind. "We offered peace," the voice said. "We offered mockery. We came anyway." A low hum filled the air. It was soft, but it vibrated deep in every brain. A sound not heard through ears, but felt. Some council members grabbed their heads. A few fainted. Others sat frozen. The Drexery ambassador stood slowly. "It's the same frequency," he whispered. "It's the ancient pain signal. It's the mind. Pulse, but controlled. Refined." The human said nothing. He didn't move. He just stood there, quiet, waiting. One ambassador shouted, "Turn it off. What is this?" The voice answered, "We wanted to be equals, but you laughed. You made fun of our invitation. So now we are here to be seen and remembered." The stopped. Silence returned, but it was not peaceful. It was the silence of shock, of fear, of realization. The high chair, still shaking, asked, "Is this a threat?" The human spoke for the first time. "This is a reminder." He reached to the cube and tapped it once. A hologram rose showing Earth's solar system. Then it zoomed out, showing human ships hidden on moons, deep in asteroid belts, cloaked in space. Hundreds of them. Then the image zoomed in again and the ship above them, it showed parts of its engine glowing with unknown power. Its armor was made of a metal no council database could identify. The high chair stepped back. Impossible. The human looked around the room, slowly, one face. "At a time, you thought we were late to the stars," he said. "But we were only waiting for the right time." He turned around and walked back toward the exit. No one stopped him. No, one laughed. Not anymore. The human stepped out of the council hall just as silently as he had entered. No one dared to follow him. No guards moved. No ambassador spoke. Black cube he left behind sat in the center of the chamber, still glowing faintly. It was small, but it had changed everything. For the first time in many years, the Galactic Council was truly silent. Outside, the human walked back to his ship alone. The ramp rose behind him, and the ship lifted into the sky without fire or sound. It moved slowly, as if it didn't care who watched. The massive Earth fleet above the city remained still. None of the ships aimed weapons, none sent messages. They only waited. Inside the council chamber, ambassadors argued in panic. "What kind of technology was that?" one shouted. "How did they block our systems?" another asked. "Where did they get that ship?" The Drexer ambassador raised one hand. Everyone turned to him. His voice was low, but firm. "That was not a warning," he said. "It was a test. They wanted to see if we would panic, and we did." The high chair tried to stay calm. "This is not war yet. Earth hasn't made demands. Maybe it was just a show." One of the analysts from the security division came. Rushing in, "We found something," he said breathlessly. "The qubit's still active. It's pulling data from our network." "What data?" the high chair asked. "All of it," the analyst replied. "Every speech, every insult, every joke about Earth. It's recording everything." A cold chill passed through the room. "Can we stop it?" someone asked. The analyst shook his head. "It's not connected to our systems. It's separate. But it can still reach in." Then the cube spoke again. Not through the mind this time, but through a soft speaker. The voice was different, not the human's. It was a synthetic voice, calm and clear. Observation complete. Analysis finished. Results. Council not ready for shared leadership. Arrogance detected. Respect missing. The cube's light turned red. Council guards raised their weapons, but the Drexer ambassador stopped them. "Don't touch it," he said. "It's not a bomb. It's a message." The cube spoke again. "Earth will offer one final opportunity. A new delegate will return in 3 days. Be ready to listen, or be ready to fall." The cube shut down. No explosion, no damage, just silence. Again, in those 3 days, the galaxy changed. The mocking news reports vanished. Videos of Earth jokes were deleted from networks. Suddenly, no one was laughing. Instead, analysts, scientists, and military leaders began studying every second of Earth's arrival. What was that hum? How did the ship enter their airspace undetected? Why didn't any defense system react? They found no answers. Even more worrying was the lack of public communication from Earth. They didn't send messages, no speeches, no demands. The fleet above the council remained silent. People across the galaxy began to fear what silence truly meant. Deepest chamber, a secret meeting took place. Only 12 members were invited, all the major powers. The high chair opened the meeting. "We misjudged them," he said. "Earth is not what we thought." "Are we facing a threat?" someone asked. The high chair nodded slowly. "Yes, but not the kind that uses weapons first. They want something more powerful, respect." Kexari warlord slammed his fist on the table. "Then we give them nothing. Let them try to take it." But the Drexery spoke again. That would be a mistake. Their silence is not weakness. It is strength. They waited until we laughed. Now they're making us remember it. Another voice joined in, this time from a Variant spy master. We studied their history. Earth has never been the strongest, but they always finish what others start. They adapt, they learn, and when they strike hard. The room went quiet again. Finally, the high chair spoke. We have 3 days. We must decide. Do we face them with pride or meet them with open hands? Elsewhere, on one of the moons near the council's city, the human ship had landed again. Side, the same delegate stood before a mirror. His eyes calm, his voice steady. He spoke to no one. Or maybe he spoke to Earth itself. They still think we're playing a game, he said. Let them laugh again when they're ready. We'll speak. Outside, the Black Fleet hovered like ghosts in the sky, watching, waiting, listening. In the dark halls beneath the Galactic Council, deep inside the security complex, a group of alien intelligence officers worked without rest. Screens glowed with data about Earth's history, science, technology, and military growth. But the more they searched, the more confused they became. One officer, a tall insectoid named Vrel, pointed to a graph. Look here. 100 years ago, Earth had basic rockets. Now, they have ships with unknown drives. Their technology jumped to fast. Another officer, a cold-blooded reptilian, leaned closer. There are no public records of war, testing, or space battles. So how did they build that fleet? No one had answers. They searched deeper into Earth's past. War records from ancient Earth showed chaos, world wars, nuclear threats, civil unrest. But after that, things went quiet, too quiet. While other species shared research openly, Earth kept theirs hidden.
Ow.
Their military projects were locked in secret bunkers. Their science programs didn't publish much in galactic channels. And most surprising, many of Earth's deep space activities were completely missing from satellite maps. One data file stood out. It was from Earth's space station near Neptune, a location the Council had never noticed before. The last entry from that station read, "Engine test successful. Result: fold point achieved. Destination redacted." The Council's chief analyst stared at the word fold point. That meant faster than light travel using space folding. Only 5 other civilizations had mastered it. Earth never said a word. More reports came in. Earth's energy sources were unknown. Their armor materials didn't match anything in the database. One ship had been scanned during landing, but the scan returned static, as if the ship's surface bent the scan back. The high chair was called into the chamber. "We need answers," said the analyst. "They are hiding too much." The high chair nodded. "Then bring in the spy teams. We need to know what Earth really is." Far from the Council, a small ship slipped past Earth's outer defenses, cloaked in invisibility tech. It entered Earth's orbit and sent probes to gather data. But as soon as one of the probes entered Earth's upper atmosphere, it vanished. No signal, no explosion, just gone. The spy captain panicked. "Send another," he ordered. The second probe vanished the same way. The third one exploded before entering the atmosphere, destroyed by something that didn't even appear on sensors. The captain stared at the black planet below. "They're jamming us, but without signals." He turned the ship around and fled. But back on the Council station, the damage was already done. The probe logs showed nothing. Only one small note remained in the data file. "You're not the only ones watching." Fear began to spread. Meanwhile on Earth, Terran Command met. In a silent room underground, holograms showed the Council's reactions, their fear, their arguments. "They're trying to spy on us," one general said. Admiral Reese, calm as always, stood near the main screen. "Let them. Look, they find more questions. That's the plan." One officer frowned. "Are we not going to tell them the truth? That we've been peaceful? That we're here to help?" Reese turned slowly. "Not yet. They didn't believe our invitation. So now they must believe in our strength," another officer asked. "And if they prepare for war?" Reese smiled. "Faintly, then we'll show them what war really looks like." Back on the council station, the Drexery ambassador met secretly with a small group of alien diplomats. He placed a device on the table, blocking all outside signals. "I have spoken with old allies," he said. "Earth's progress is not random. It is the result of controlled silence." "What does that mean?" asked a Varan ambassador. The Drexery narrowed his eyes. "It means Earth could have shown their power long ago, but chose not to. They waited, they hid, they studied us while we mocked them." Another ambassador added, "It's like they grew in the dark. It's on purpose." The room fell quiet. Then the Drexery leaned forward. "Tell your governments, Earth has not come to beg." Just then, a council alarm sounded. A new Earth signal had arrived. It wasn't a message, it was a file. One video, no encryption, no password. The council opened it. The screen showed Earth's early space missions, the rockets, the satellites. Then faster missions. Then deep space ships. Then darkness. And finally light. The last part of the video showed Earth's hidden fleet in motion. One ship warped from the edge of the Sol system to the Council's moon in less than 2 seconds. Another ship passed through an asteroid without taking damage. Soldiers trained in artificial gravity fields. AI systems operated entire battle cruisers. Alone. Then one final message. "This is what we built while you laughed. This is what we bring. You have 3 days left." And the screen went black. The council chamber was full, but no one was speaking. The Earth's message had just ended, and every ambassador sat frozen, staring at the black screen in front of them. No one laughed. No one moved. Fear and silence had taken over. The high chair stood slowly. His voice was not loud anymore. 3 days, that is all they gave us. The Kexery warlord slammed his fist on the table. "We should strike first. They are showing off, that's all. One attack, and we remind them who holds power in this galaxy." But the Drexari ambassador spoke firmly. "If we attack, if we vanish just like those probes, just like our pride," another voice rose from the back, a quiet ambassador from the peaceful Nihilary. "They have not attacked. Not even once. After all our insults," the Varan spy master added, "they walked into our council alone, no weapons. Still, we felt helpless." The high chair looked around. "They want something. Not blood, not war. They want a seat, a voice, respect." A screen turned on behind him. A new message had arrived from Earth. No video, just voice. It was the human who had stood in the council hall. "This is our final offer," he said. "We are not here to conquer. We are not here to kneel. We will not trade fear for favor. We ask for a seat, a fair voice, a role in shaping this galaxy." He paused for a moment and continued, "If you accept, we will share knowledge, help keep peace, and protect those who cannot protect themselves. If you reject us, you will never see us again. And you may wish you had." The message ended with 4 words. "You have 1 hour." Panic spread through the council. "What does that mean?" shouted one ambassador. "Will they attack if we say no?" another replied. "Or will they just disappear, come back when we least expect it?" The Drexery ambassador stood. "They're giving us a choice and a warning. It is not about control. It is about balance." The high chair called for a final vote. All screens lit up. 2 buttons, accept or reject. But fear was not the only feeling in the room now. It was also respect and understanding. One by one, as delegates cast their votes. The insectoids of Varn clicked accept. The water breathers of Threx bubbled accept. Even the Kexery warlord paused, then sighed, and pressed accept. Only 3 delegates voted to reject. The rest chose to open the door. As the final vote was counted, the council screen flashed green. Majority accept. Earth to be granted official seat. Just then, the cube in the council hall lit up again. This time, a soft light, blue and calm. The human voice returned. "We accept your decision. A new path begins." Above the city, Earth's fleet slowly started to move, not forward, not to attack, but away. One by one, the ships turned and disappeared into black space, warping out in complete silence. All but one. The same ship that had landed before, touched down once again. The ramp opened, and a second human stepped out. This one wore a slightly different uniform. It had a single mark on the chest, a small Earth symbol in silver. He entered the council hall. This time, he was welcomed with quiet nods. No jokes. No laughter. He placed a new cube on the table. This, he said, is the treaty. A shared future, equal respect. The high chair stood and took the cube. He looked the human in the eyes. Welcome to the council. Outside, across planets, stars and systems, the news spread fast. Earth had taken its seat not with war, not with force, but by showing what silence, strength, and patience could do. Some feared what came next. Some felt hope. But one thing was now clear across the galaxy. Earth was no longer just a small planet on the edge of space. It was something more. And the galaxy would never forget the choice it made that day. The humans stood at the center of the council chamber. This time, no one laughed. No one whispered. Hundreds of alien leaders watched him with quiet respect. He was not a warrior, not a conqueror. But still, he had changed everything. He held the treaty cube in both hands and placed it on the council table. Its lights blinked, once blue, then green, then it opened, showing the full agreement inside. Clear terms, fair rules, equal voice. The high chair looked at it, then at the human. Is this truly what Earth wants? Not control, not power? The human gave a small nod. We want to build, not rule. But we also want to be heard. No more mocking, no more silence. Just respect. One by one, the council members approached. The table, each placed a hand on the cube. With every touch, the treaty glowed brighter. The Drexari ambassador was the last to touch it. As his fingers met the surface, the cube shined golden. The council chamber lights dimmed. The ceiling opened, revealing the stars above. A new symbol formed in the Iran-old circle, now with a small blue dot added to it. That blue dot was Earth. The news spread across the galaxy within minutes. Earth had been accepted. Not just as a member, but with full rights, equal to all. Others, the jokes disappeared from networks. Comedians dropped their old acts. Commentators apologized on live shows, and something else happened. The smaller races, the ones often ignored or bullied, in the council started to speak up. If Earth could earn respect, so could they. Earth's arrival gave voice to many who had been quiet for centuries. On a small planet called Tyrannus, a young alien watched the announcement and whispered, "If the humans did it, maybe we can too." Back in the council chamber, the human delegates stayed behind after the meeting ended. He looked at the stars through the open ceiling. The high chair approached him slowly. "You came into this chamber and turned it upside down," the high chair said. "You brought fear, but also truth." The human smiled slightly. "We only answered your call. You mocked us first." High chair nodded. "Yes, and now I wonder what else has Earth been hiding." The human turned to face him. "We don't hide. We prepare." That's the difference. Outside, Earth's ship waited on the platform. Its engines were quiet, its lights soft. It looked more like a shadow than a ship, but everyone knew what it could do. Not because it attacked, but because it didn't need to. The human boarded his ship and sent one last message before leaving. "We will return not in silence, but in unity." The ship lifted gently into the sky. It joined to others, then vanished into space, faster than any council sensor could follow. From that day on, the Galactic Council changed. Earth was given leadership over several key programs, peace missions, lost colony searches, and protection fleets for weaker worlds. Pirate activity dropped by 80% in the first 6 months. When asked why, a captured pirate said, "Because we heard a Terran scout ship entered our sector. We left before they saw us." No shots were fired. No war had begun. But Earth had already won the respect of the stars. Many years later, a young ambassador asked the Drexari elder, "How did Earth take its place in the council without fighting a single battle?" Smiled slowly and said, "Because they understood something we forgot. Fear lasts a moment, but respect respect shapes the future. And far in the dark of space, a human fleet moved quietly between the stars, watching, guiding, and always listening. Because Earth never forgot how the galaxy laughed. And they never let the galaxy forget how Earth replied. Years had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council. But that first moment, the moment they walked into the chamber without firing a weapon, was still remembered everywhere. People across thousands. Planets called it the Day of Silence. But it wasn't just silence. It was power without pride, confidence without violence. That day, Earth changed how the galaxy saw strength. In the Council's main chamber, a large crystal wall now displayed the emblems of all Council races. At the top sat the central ring, once reserved for only the 5 founding species. But now there was a 6th symbol carved into it. A small blue planet. Earth, no longer a visitor. No longer mocked. A leader. Earth had done what no one expected. They hadn't taken control with force. They had lifted others. New races had joined the Council, those who had been too afraid to speak. Earth gave them courage. Earth gave them voice. Human diplomats traveled across the stars, not to conquer, but to help. On burned worlds, they helped rebuild. On poor colonies, they brought clean water and advanced medicine. Their aid ships were fast, quiet, and always arrived without warning, just like their fleet once had. The Council's peace division was now led by a joint force, half human, half alien. Together, they responded to threats with calm precision. Pirates fled when they saw Terran ships. Slavers disappeared when a human signal arrived. Not because Earth attacked first, but because Earth didn't need to warn twice. Even the enemies of the Council whispered of Earth's strange power. On one moon near the edge of the galaxy, a warlord asked his second-in-command, "What makes the humans so feared?" The reply was simple: because they don't need to be. Back on Earth, things were quiet, peaceful, but always watching. Deep under the surface, in the same base where Admiral Reese once stood, a new generation of Terran command officers trained. One young officer asked, "Will we ever need to use the full fleet?" The commander shook his head. "That depends on them. We already gave them our answer." And the answer was still traveling across the stars. In a far-off system, a small Council station picked up a strange signal. An unknown ship had arrived near the border. Old records showed it belonged to a race long thought extinct, the threat from the past. Before the station could call for help, a second signal came. "Terran vessel on site. Stand down. We'll handle it." The crew watched in silence as a single black human ship dropped out of warp. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It simply positioned itself between the station and the threat. The unknown ship scanned it tanned, then turned around. No fight. No loss. Just the silent presence of a Terran ship was enough. The station commander sent a thank you message. No reply came. The human ship had already vanished into the stars. Back at the Council, an annual ceremony was held in honor of Earth's arrival. Every year, the same human delegate stood before the chamber and said the same words. "We came in peace." You laughed. We returned with silence. And now, together, we speak. The words were simple, but powerful. The high chair, now older and wiser, always stood to respond. "We once thought Earth was small, but you reminded us. Greatness doesn't need volume." After the ceremony, young students from many worlds visited the chamber. They stood where the first human delegate had placed the black cube. That cube still sat on the same table. It no longer glowed. It no longer hummed. No one dared move it. It had become a symbol, not of fear, but of change. Outside the chamber, a small Drexery child looked up at a human officer and asked, "Why didn't your people fight us when we laughed at you?" The officer smiled gently. "Because we didn't come to fight," he said. "We came to stay." And they did. Earth's voice now shaped Council laws. Their ships protected planets in silence. Their science improved life in 1,000 systems. But more than anything, Earth reminded the galaxy of something it had forgotten. Real power doesn't need to shout. Real strength doesn't destroy. In real leaders, know when to speak and when to wait. The day Earth walked into the council, everything changed, and the stars would never be the same again.